Hari Om. Welcome all to our Vishnu Sahasranama. So we were seeing the fourth stanza of the 1,000 names of Vishnu Sahasranama. So we can chant that. We begin with chanting it and then we'll go over the names for this week. Sarva Sharva Shivastanur Bhuta Dirnidiravyayah Sambhavo Bhavano Bharta Prabhavav Prabhurishwaraha. So we had seen last time Nidiravyayah. We had finished off with the 30th name. This week we are entering into the 31st name, Sambhavaha. Sambhavaha means he manifests himself in another form using his will. He manifests him in another form using his will. What does that mean? We saw that he can take an incarnation anywhere, take any incarnation anywhere. So at will, swechaya, he can assume a suitable form and complete the task that is needed at that time. So this power is not with any one human being. We may be able to modify our present form, but we cannot totally transform into another being. So we're not transformers. Bhagavan is the best transformer. He can transform into any form that he wishes. As we know, he has taken numerous avatars across the yugas, across the ages. Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Sri Narasimha. These forms will always be appropriate also to the situation that he has to rectify. So we saw in the previous names just now gone by, Lord Narasimha, where Vishnu took the form of half man, half lion. So how is his will prompted? Why does he decide to incarnate? As the prayers of the devotees increase, the collective prayers of all the devotees makes Bhagavan incarnate himself in a particular form. It is not due to his karma. Like for human beings, our incarnation is due to our karma, our actions of the past. We take on body after body, depending on our karmas. That is not the case for the Lord. The Lord takes form because of collective prayers of devotees, and it is not like a human birth as well. It is an avatara sharira, very different to the Panchabhautika, the 5 element bodies that we have as well. So the purpose of his birth, if he decides to take birth, what is he born for? He is born to either destroy those who are terrorizing others and given to evil ways, but sometimes he also transforms. So he can either destroy or transform, but generally we find that Bhagavan, when it gets to a stage where the transformation is not possible, Bhagavan has to incarnate to destroy that evildoer, the person who's given to evil ways. So it is like any superhero story, you see that good eventually triumphs over evil, and that is why Lord incarnates for this purpose alone. So he's Sambhavaha. The 32nd name, he is Bhavanaha. Bhavana is a very, very profound name, actually. Bhavana means he is the Karma Phaladata. The Karma Phaladata, or the giver of the fruits of all actions. Sri Ramana Maharishi in his Upadesha Saram begins with this idea, Karturagneya prapyate phalam. Due to the order of the Lord alone, the results of karma ensue. Due to the order of the Lord alone. So it is the Lord who is in charge, the Lord who gives the results of actions. That is how the results are dispensed. In the 3rd chapter of Brahma Sutra, it is said, from him alone the fruits of actions come. From him alone the fruits of actions come because he is the divine distributor of all the results. So seeing Lord Vishnu in this form, we can let our need to control our lives, to be in charge all the time, we can let that need, we can let it drop, let it resolve in this understanding. Understanding also that when things don't go my way, it is nothing but karma phala manifesting, and that karma phala data is nothing but Ishvara. So we have seen also in the past, we can get 4 types of results. The first is results which are equal to what was expected. Like if I think I'm heading for a promotion at work, and the boss calls me in that day and says, I'm going to give you that promotion. That is what is expected equal to what I want. But results can also be less than what I expect. If somebody else is called in by the boss, somebody junior to you, and gets the promotion, it is definitely less than what you expected. So that is less than what we expect. Also, that result can come. We can get more than what we expect. And that is, again, it's quite rare, but sometimes this type of results come in life, more than what we expect. The boss calls me into his office and says, I'm retiring now, you'll be taking over my role. Yes, much more than what I expected. Very rare, but it can happen. And finally, the results can be quite opposite to what was expected, quite opposite to what I expected, which means the boss calls me in and he says, you're fired. Because I don't like you, you're fired. That's it. Opposite, totally opposite to what you expect. You are expecting a promotion, but you get fired instead. So with life, we have to be alert. We can expect any of these types of results to manifest. Nobody knows what will come when. So Shankara says, Sarvesham Bhoktrinam Phalani Bhavayati iti Bhavanaha. The name here, Bhavanaha, he is the one who gives the right results according to the karma. It may not be what I expect, may not be what I want, but it will be what I deserve according to an order. He gives to the jivas who are the experiencers, the bhoktas of the fruits of their action. And who connects the fruits of the actions to the action? It is Lord in the form of Karma Dhyaksha. He weighs up from within. He is a witness from within. He sees every intention behind every action. He sees the very action itself. Karma Dhyaksha, he is the judge of all actions. And who decides when and how they should manifest? This is Karma Phala Data. Karma Phala Data is the one who's the giver of the results of action. He decides when and how and to whom they should manifest. So this is not a random occurrence in our life. It is a law of karma, and this law of karma is Ishvara for us. And this law of karma is Bhavanaha, Lord Vishnu as Bhavanaha, the word Bhavanaha. And we have seen also action. When we act in life, we accrue two types of results. One is drishta, seen result, and one is adrishta, unseen result. It is this unseen result that goes into our storage. And it is that unseen result which manifests in our life as punya and papa, or as pleasant or unpleasant results. And it is stored there for future manifestations. This, we believe, is the Lord for us. So he is Bhavanaha, the order of karma, the Karma Phaladata. The 33rd name is Bharta. Bharta means the one who sustains this universe. So Bharta literally means in Sanskrit, husband. The Lord is the husband of the universe, this word would mean. But what does it mean? The qualities of the husband, traditional qualities, I will say, that Lord Vishnu represents. The husband traditionally is the one who sustains, the one who others depend on in the family to take care of their needs. So exactly in this way, Lord Vishnu is the preserver, the sustainer of this universe. He keeps the universe functioning. He keeps everything going, everything moving in the form of orders. So the physical order, psychological order, physiological order, chemical orders, so many orders we see pervading this whole jagat, keeping everything going. And in science, all that science has access to is the order. So science is examining Ishvara, in fact. Dharma also becomes an important order for us, the order of dharma, the moral structure, the ethical framework for everyone in societies. Dhr, dharma comes from the Sanskrit dhr, to sustain, uphold. So all the harmony and the stability in the universe is due to Bhagavan alone. Ishvaraha is due to Lord Vishnu. As Bharta, all the things in nature also function according to their dharma. From planets to plants, everything follows an order. Everything has order written on it, the way it functions, the way it maintains the harmony of this universe. So dharma is also that order. Dharma can mean many things at many contexts. It can also mean the standard by which we choose what is the right thing to do from what is the wrong thing to do. So it's universal values as well. The Lord is that standard. So in our conscience, the inbuilt mechanism, that is the Lord in the form of our conscience. And within this universal dharma, which is the inbuilt conscience for all human beings, there is a swadharma, which is there for everybody. It is each one's to be done karma, what everybody needs to do as an offering to the Bharta, as an offering to Ishvara. We saw we are all co-creators in this yajna, great grand yajna, this cycle of worship that is happening at every moment, the yajna of the universe, the worship of the universe. And our contribution to this cycle is what? By doing my duty, doing what is to be done. Everything is in motion, and we contribute in our own way, whatever we can, to keep the cycle in motion. Any imbalance in this universe, any disturbances in the order are use of free will. Bharta has to restore balance. So Lord Vishnu as Bharta has to restore balance to this universe. Even this coronavirus is a way of restoring balance. It has been introduced by Bharta, the sustainer of this universe. There is a reason behind it. It is all to maintain some harmony in the universe. So Bharta lends existence to all, sustaining the entire Jagat. Very beautiful name, the sustainer Bharta, the husband of this universe. The 34th name of Bhagavan is Prabhavaha. Prabhavaha means the source of all elements, and he is the source of elementals as well. In Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a very beautiful section where it is said, Tasmad va etasmad akasha sambhutaha akashat vayuhu vayur agnihi agnirapaha adbyaf prithvi prithivya oshadayaha oshadhibhyonam annat purushaha. So there's an order here, a hierarchy, how creation happened. And that very source of the creation there, Atmana. Atmana means Prabhavaha. He is the source of all elements in the form of consciousness. He is the source of everything. And from him comes alone Akasha, the space. From Akasha is born Vayu, the wind. From the wind is born Agnihi, fire. From fire emerges the water, Adbyaf, Apaha. And from the waters come Prithvi, the earth. From Prithvi, what is born? Oshadhi Bhyonam. From Prithvi are born plants and trees and everything that is required to sustain us. Oshadhi Bhyofannam Annat Purushaha. So from that food is born human being. The human being, the human body eventually comes straight from the Lord, the consciousness, which is the Lord. Prabhavaha. He is the source, the original source. All names and forms in this universe are elements alone, elements and elementals. They are born from the elements and they return to elements. They return to Prabhavaha. They return to the one. So he is Prabhavaha, the origin of this universe, the causeless cause. We have seen this. And all are recycled back to him, the Prabhavaha. And the 35th name for Bhagavan is Prabhu. Again, a very beautiful name. Prabhu means the most powerful, most skillful. We just have to look around us. Every moment we can see his skill, his capacity at play. Everything that we take in this universe points to intelligence alone. You look at a leaf, see the symmetry in the leaf, see the grace. It is wonderful to see that. Even in a leaf, a tiny leaf, you can see the veins, the way it's constructed. It is most skillful, the most skillful one who has constructed such a thing. A spider's web, if you look at the way it weaves, what is a spider's web? What intelligence? Does it ever go to school to learn to weave a web like that? No, there's no spider training school. It is natural intelligence. It is Ishvara manifesting through that particular creature, that spider, that has the grace and the capacity. It's his capacity. A weaver bird's nest, if you've ever seen these weaver birds, how incredible that if you see their nests, what intelligence to make such a residence as, where they live as well. Again, so Shankara says, Sarvasu, Kriyasu, Samarthya, Ati Shaya Atishayavan Prabhu, Atishayavan Prabhu, which means he is unsurpassed, the one with unsurpassed skill, unsurpassed capacity in all areas, all activities as well. So the question actually is, what can he not do? There is nothing he cannot do. What is he not capable of? There is nothing he is not capable of. The creation, preservation, and dissolution of this universe, Prabhu is in charge. So he is the divine architect of this universe. He knows the blueprint, everything. He has put his thumbprint on everything. That is, even in the nature, we see it as in the form of the golden ratio, mathematical design. In so many things you take in nature, there is the blueprint, the thumbprint of Bhagavan there, Ishvaraha, Prabhu. So many species, so many beings, all unique. All one can say is wow. Wow at the magnificence of Prabhu. Nobody else with that capacity. And Lord Vishnu is called Prabhu. And the last word of this stanza, last name of this stanza, very, very, very famous, most popular name for Bhagavan, Ishvaraha, Prabhurishvaraha. So Ishvaraha also has a very great significance. It means the one with total overlordship, total control over everything that is. It comes from the Sanskrit root, ish, to rule, to preside over. So that he presides over, he rules over this whole universe. In the 6 Shadbhagas, which describe Bhagavan, we see one Bhaga, which is Samagrasya Aishwarya, which means that he has total overlordship, total control over everything, because there's no one above him. He has no boss above him to command him to do anything. He is the super boss. All other deities draw their power from Ishvaraha alone. So he is the Lord of all lords, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, Sarvashaktiman in Sanskrit, all-powerful, Sarvavit, he knows everything in detail. He knows everything, the past, present, and future of everything that we perceive in this world. And he's Sarvavyapi, he pervades in and through this whole universe. And this Maya, magic of Maya, is under the magician's power. The Maya magic is under the magician's power. It can fool everyone, but not him. He never gets fooled by his own magic because he is the wielder of his magic. Ishvaraha, we've seen also, manifests as what is in our life. Whatever we have to face in our life is also called Ishvara for us. All situations are Ishvara for us. There is nothing but him in the form of order in our life. That is Ishvaraha. And Lord Vishnu as Ishvaraha can never be away from us, can never be away. He's always with us. He's with you, in you, around you, above you, below you. As Ishvara, we seek his protection, Lord Vishnu. We seek the protection of such an all-powerful one, Lord Vishnu as Ishvaraha. So with that, we finish our 4th stanza, and next time we will begin our 5th stanza of Vishnu Sahasranama. Hari Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.